Hey, Britton, how's it going? I am live here and it is noon, so I'm going to say my prayer. Omni matter ergo logos inanna inanna naki aika. Omni matter ergo logos inanna inanna naki aika. Omni matter ergo logos inanna inanna naki aika. Please help us get to the golden age, help us have a wonderful day, and help us become the best versions of ourselves possible. I know that I say the same prayer a lot, but it hasn't changed. It's still my intent. Hopefully you are doing well on this Sunday. I would say beautiful, but honestly, the weather is really not beautiful. I'm not even sure if you can see outside the window. It's too glary, but it's like there's a really thick layer of fog. So even driving here, it's really like you have to drive slow because you can't really see very far in front of you. And it's been like this for the past few days. So hopefully it will clear up. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Thank you all again for joining me. I really appreciate it. I do have, obviously, the topics in the title that I want to talk about. But because I have had some requests, I am going to read the second lection of the Gospel of the Holy 12. My intent is to read one a week on Sundays. So you'd read lection 1 last week in the live video. And so I'm going to read lection 2 this week. And last week we talked about the parentage and conception of John the Baptist. And this week it is the Immaculate Conception of the Christ. Hey, Sage, how's it going? I have read a little bit of this before, but I did want to obviously dive into it and talk, add my notes as we go on. So, hey, Daniel, how's it going? Hi, Inanna. We will do a chess game later. Maybe you got to get on the chess live app. Okay, so lection 2. And in the 6th month of the angel. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto the city of Galilee named Nazareth to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. Now Joseph was a just and rational mind, and he was skilled in all manner of work in wood and stone. Isn't that interesting? He was a builder. And Mary was a tender and discerning soul, and she wrought veils for the temple. And they were both pure before God, and of them both was Iesu Maria, who is called the Christ. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail Mary, thou art highly favored, for the mother of God is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed be the fruit of thy womb. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this must be. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God, and behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a child, and he shall be great, and shall be called a son of the highest. And the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Then said Mary unto the angel, How shall this be, seeing I know not a man? And the angel answered and said unto her, The Holy Spirit shall come upon Joseph thy spouse, and the power of the highest shall oversee thee, O Mary. Therefore also that holy thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Christ, the child of God, and his name on earth shall be called Iesu Maria, for he shall save the people from their sins, whosoever shall repent and obey his law. So as you can tell from that verse, take away from that verse, this angel is telling Mary that the Holy Spirit is going to come upon her and Joseph, and they're going to, go in the bedroom and get it on and then conceive the Christ, right? And the Lord God shall give unto him. Okay, I already read that. Sorry about that. That's weird. And the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Then said Mary unto the angel, how shall this be? Oh, wait, I already read that. Sorry. Okay, so after the angel says, you're going to have this child, he says, therefore he shall eat no flesh, nor drink strong drink, for the child shall be consecrated unto God from his mother's womb, and neither flesh nor shall strong drink shall he take, nor shall a razor touch his head. Remember last week, the same situation happened where John the Baptist's father, essentially, actually, was told that this child shouldn't have, any flesh, shouldn't have strong drink. So we have this reoccurring theme of the mother being holy from conception and consuming a pure diet, not consuming corpses, not, what food you put in, what things you're putting in while a baby's growing inside of you. Obviously, those things are going to essentially become the building blocks of that child. You even become what you eat, whether you're pregnant or not. Every time you eat something, it's like your body's breaking that down and essentially using it to, to reconstruct you, to continue your life on this earth, and either continue or kill you, whether you're eating junk or eating stuff that you should be eating. So, okay, so, and behold, thy cousin Isabel, is definitely not what this says, Elizabeth, she hath also conceived a son in her old age, and this is the 6th month with her, who was called barren. For with God no thing shall be impossible. And Mary said, behold, the handmaiden of the Lord, be it unto me according to thy word. And the angel departed from her. And in the same day, the angel Gabriel appeared unto Joseph in a dream and said unto him, hail, Joseph, thou art highly favored, for the fatherhood of God is with thee. Blessed art thou among men, and blessed be the fruit of thy loins. I love can you tell by my face lighting up this whole concept of two people that are, righteous, people that are seeking purity, that actually, take daily steps to be pure, coming together to create this child that will essentially change the world, right? And as Joseph thought upon these words, he was troubled. And the angel of the Lord said unto him, fear not, Joseph, thou son of David, for thou hast found favor with God. And behold, thou shalt beget a child, and thou shalt call his name Iesu Maria, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was written in the prophets, saying, behold, a maiden shall conceive and be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God within us. I don't know about you, but it definitely makes a lot more sense to me, this whole story of, an angel not only going to Mary to tell her that she's going to have this child, but also to Joseph, and them actually, conceiving together, rather than the mainstream, biblical narrative where, people that want to talk crap about the Bible are like, oh, God raped a young girl to have this kid. Like, it's painted in a really bad light. And also right along with that, this book says maiden. In the Bible, it usually says a virgin. I wanted to point out that the word virgin doesn't necessarily, in this context, they are saying that she was a sexual virgin, but it can also mean a maiden, a Virgo, a virgin, young woman in that sense. So the word can, have multiple meanings, like so many in the English dictionary or language, I guess. Okay. Then Joseph, being raised from sleep, did as the angel had bidden him, and went in unto Mary, his espoused bride, and she conceived in her womb the Holy One. And Mary arose in those days and went into the hill country with haste into a city of Judea, and entered into the house of Zacharias, and saluted Elizabeth. And it came to pass that when Elizabeth heard the salutation of Mary, the babe, John the Baptist, leaped in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the power of the Spirit and spake with a clear voice and said, Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. That makes me like really jealous of her saying that. Like I want that to be said to me. Getting teary-eyed, like, all right. Anyways. Okay. Whence is this to me that the mother of my Lord should come to me? For lo, as soon as the voice of thy salutation sounded in my ears, the babe leaped for joy. And blessed is she that believed, for there shall be a performance of those things which were told her from the Holy One. And Mary said, My soul doth magnify thee, the eternal, and my spirit doth rejoice in God my Savior. For thou hast regarded the low estate of thy handmaiden. For behold, from whenceforth all generations shall call me blessed. For thou art the mighty, for thou that art mighty hast done to me great things, and holy is thy name. And thy mercy is on them that fear thee from generation to generation. Thou hast showed strength with thy arm. Thou hast shattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. Thou hast put down the mighty from their seats and exalted the humble and the meek. Thou hast filled the hungry with good things, and the rich thou dost send empty away. Thou dost help thy servant Israel in remembrance of thy mercy, as thou spakest to our ancestors, to Abraham and to his seed forever. And Mary abode with her about 3 months and returned to her house. And these are the words that Joseph spake, saying, Blessed be the God of our fathers and our mothers in Israel. For in an acceptable time thou hast heard me, and in the day of salvation thou hast helped me. For thou saidst, I will preserve and make thee a covenant of the people to renew the face of the earth, and to cause the desolate places to be redeemed from the hands of the spoiler. That thou mayest say to the captives, Go ye forth and be free, and to them that are in darkness, show yourselves in the light. And they shall feed in the ways of pleasantness, and they shall no more hunt, nor worry the creatures which I have made to rejoice before me. Did you hear that? They shall feed in the ways of pleasantness. You're going to be feeding in the ways of pleasantness, eating pleasant things, not including pig butt, okay? And they shall no more hunt, nor worry the creatures which I have made to rejoice before me. I love that. Woo. They shall not hunger nor thirst anymore, neither shall the heat smite them, nor the cold destroy them. And I will make on all my mountains a way for travelers, and my high places shall be exalted. Sing, ye heavens, and rejoice, thou earth. O ye deserts, break forth with song, for thou, O God, dost comfort thy people and console them that have suffered wrong. And that is the end of lection 2. Like I was saying, hey, Sonia. Hey, Race Lover. How's it going? I am reading Race Lover, I don't see any other comments from you. I'm reading from the Gospel of the Holy 12. That was lection 2. You can hear lection 1 in last week's live video from Sunday, and lection 3 will be in next Sunday's video as well. So thank you all for joining me here. Hopefully you are doing well. It's been a really good day for me. Yesterday, we had a 24-hour group dry fast. So congratulations to everybody who did that with me and made it through. I know that a lot of people aren't ready for dry fasting yet. And I keep trying to, say whatever step that you're at, wherever you need to take one more step towards purification, then join in with us, as the intent being purification. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. Wherever you are, the intent being, you take one step in the direction of purification. And that being said, next week I'm going to be doing a 48-hour dry fast. A 24-hour dry fast is kind of just an intro to get your, dip your toe in the water. There are benefits that I've gotten from 24-hour dry fast alone. I noticed my skin getting tighter, feeling and looking younger, glowing. But ultimately, the 24-hour dry fast really isn't going to achieve the results that all of us are really wanting, right? Ideally, I'm going to try to do 3 days, but for right now, we're going to do 2 days, 48 hours next week. And so I'll be starting on Thursday night at midnight and then going to Saturday night at midnight. And hopefully you will join me. I'll put out a few more announcements before then. And if you can't do it the whole 48 hours, at least join me for 24 hours. Or however long you can make it. I know the first few times that I did dry fasts, like it was real bad. Like I've had emotional breakdowns. And I've made a meme to help people with dry fasting, different tips that you can use to help you get through the dry fast, whether it's going outside and grounding, doing oil pulling or swishing water in your mouth, taking a shower, going to like a waterfall or being in a lake or taking a bath or anything like that. And doing other stuff to pass the time, whether it's playing chess or watching my videos, or, listening to podcasts or doing whatever you need to do, like, have stuff to do to fill your time so that you don't get bored and want to eat. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely a bored eater. I'm like, I'm bored, so I need to eat something. Yeah, I really love food. Sage says he didn't see any of Race Lover's comments either. Do you even, Sage? Hey, how's it going? Said blessings from Australia. How's it going? I wanted to try to make a joke about, Australians being upside down on the globe, but globe Earth in itself is just a joke, isn't it? So glad to know, the truth of our reality when so many people have died ignorant and are still ignorant. How many people do you interact with that are like adamant globe earthers? And yeah, a lot of them online are shills, people paid to argue, and even people not paid to argue. You have inverts, who do it for fun. They have multiple accounts, and they'll, I've actually seen people attacking me and then commenting, like talking to themselves through multiple accounts, and I caught them red-handed. I'm like, you're attacking me and then agreeing with yourself on another account because you are so desperate to try to make me into something that I'm not, that you'll sink to these lows. Like, that is really, really pathetic. But these are inverted clowns, and right along this line, they really love to be called and compared to Baphomet and be seen like Baphomet. A lot of people get fearful when they see it. A better representation of these clowns would be, an MTF clown in a dress, like an obvious one prancing around on stage, like, because they're clowns. They're not Baphomet. And Baphomet ultimately is an occult symbol for Sophia, and it has been demonized over time and used for evil as a representation of evil. And something I'm obviously passionate about, people looking into the original meanings of these things. So anyways, Race Lover says, I think I can do about half an hour. Really, really, that's all you can do as far as dry fasting. Oh, Sonia went 6 hours. That is awesome. Really good job. That is, like, it is really, really quite difficult. I mean, especially when people have jobs and have other things to do in their lives. But, even just going 6 hours without food or drink, especially without drink, is really impressive. I'm really proud of you. That's awesome. Little steps in the right direction. Like my first dry fast, I didn't make it 24 hours. So it definitely helps to go through it over and over again so that you can actually, your body gets used to it over time. So it becomes easier over time. Race Lover, maybe it got blocked. bot blocked. Yeah, probably. You probably said something that triggered their thing. Eric says hashtag real woman. Yes. And anyone who wants to question it, I've put out plenty of footage to prove that I am a real female. So, all right. Even the thumbnail for my video here, you can see my flaring hips like are very obvious. Okay. Eric says we live on a planet. The T is silent. A plane. Yes, we are living on a plane. You know, generally a flat surface with hills and mountains and other features that make it more exciting than just, you know, a flat PLAIN plane for days, right? Like thank God for the mountains and hills and stuff that, you know, make this world actually more exciting than that. Okay. Race Letter says, I argue for free, no charge. Yes, I do that too. Super K Pill says, I do one meal a day. Interesting. I'm kind of moving that way myself as well, and trying to be more pure in my diet. I'd ultimately like to be raw vegan / fruitarian, but it is not easy. Okay. Swartz says, I can't believe she felt the need to prove she's a real woman. Pretty obvious. Kind of schizo to think otherwise, in my humble opinion. Unfortunately, I have a lot of inverted deceivers making up lies about me. They'll take pictures of me. Like one of the pictures that comes to mind is I was dancing in the middle, and I was standing in an unnatural position, and they took a screenshot of me and they were saying, oh, she has a flat back. It's like, I'm not even standing straight up properly to even judge that. So yeah, I'm lied about a lot. And I think that it's important to put out the footage for you to be able to transvestigate me, because I keep banging on about how, you can't trust an invert. So people need to be able to transvestigate me and see all of my biomarkers and see that I am a real female, see that my hips don't lie. And I'm more than happy to show off my sexy flaring hips. So, yeah. Race Lover says, I do so mad. If I don't eat at least 3 meals a day, I get so mad. Okay, that's funny. Some people would probably say that's because you're addicted and you're going through withdrawals. But okay, so let us talk a little bit about the Kyle Rittenhouse drama. I actually never really looked into this until more recently. It was actually Akshar had sent me a message and asked me what I thought about it. And I'm like, who's Kyle Rittenhouse? I don't really pay attention to mainstream media. 99% of what you see on mainstream news is completely fake. Like just imagine it's a scene from a movie or a TV show, and then they try to play it off as real life. And this is like all your news stories. Okay, so I've seen tons and tons and tons of coverage of true crime, real stories from mainstream news, and they're all inverted. They're all acting like it's just, so I don't pay attention to mainstream news. I say, okay, let me do some searching. I look up Kyle Rittenhouse, and the first thing that comes up is this video of this clown on the stand trying to cry. And I was laughing so hard. Like, I'll grab the post really quick, because I was actually getting some people were getting a little bit upset, and I don't know if they're actually people or if they're just inverts that are playing along. They want us to if there's a victim on TV and you say, that person is a crisis actor, then they want to make you feel bad for attacking a victim or whatever. So here is the link for the Kyle Rittenhouse post in the Disclosure Now group. So this was the first video that I came across, and they're like, it's just one of the most fake breakdowns that I've ever seen in my life. Okay. So it's like the shooting was fake. Okay. So the person, Kyle, the shooter, was fake. The 3 victims. Okay. What is the likelihood that the 3 victims just happen to supposedly be a burglar, a pedophile, and a domestic abuser? Just happen, right? The likelihood of this whole crowd of people going to a protest and 3 people out of the whole crowd getting shot, they just happen to be a burglar, a pedophile, and a domestic abuser. Like, I mean, just the whole situation, I don't believe it just because it's on the mainstream news, it's being shoved down our throats, but it's like looking into all of the looking into the video, the supposed victims, and all these things keep saying allegedly shot, alleged victim, alleged this, alleged that. Like, I mean, obviously they have to go through the court proceedings. He hasn't been found guilty by the court yet, so we have to use alleged type whatever. It's like, no one died. Okay, the shooting was fake. The 3 people were controlled. Kyle is controlled. So I'm looking more into, if you go on this post, I have like, links. I have posted different pictures of Kyle, showing Kyle's curvy feminine body, really narrow, slopey shoulders, breast tissue. There's some pictures with a mask on, which really highlight the femininity of Kyle. There's a picture that I posted here. I wish I could screen share, but apparently YouTube doesn't let that. There's a picture that I shared with Kyle's mom, who is extremely masculine and has some sort of like hole in their throat right here. It's real weird. Just pull up the link. The judge of the case throwing up the 666 hand signs on both hands. Like, the post is pretty thorough, and I've mentioned a few things. In one of the videos, the attorney is saying that protesters were outraged after realizing that Kyle was in this situation. Like, I guess I should kind of back up a little bit, because some people might not even know the situation, but there's like a protest going on, and supposedly this Kyle, 17-year-old, was called by a store owner to come and help defend their store, which I don't know about you, but I mean, I guess the only situation that I could even like fathom this, like, you're calling a 17-year-old to come and be put into a dangerous situation and like help protect your store. Like, maybe if you were like a really old person and you didn't know anybody else, but it's like, I don't know, just from the beginning, it's just really unbelievable. But anyways, so this kid is supposedly called to the scene. Oh, and don't you know that one of the news sources just happens to get an interview with Kyle before the shooting. Of all of the people at the protest that could have been interviewed, we just happened to get an interview with the shooting victim before they go and shoot people. Oh yeah, okay. There's no coincidences in our reality. If you can't get the sarcasm that I'm definitely laying on heavy. So anyways, the attorney claims that protesters were outraged after realizing that Kyle was there to protect this store and had a gun, and they created a mob that was now determined to hurt Kyle. Okay, this is not normal human behavior. Okay, so I don't believe any of this for 1 second. Like, the only thing that I would believe is that the mob is, the people that are inciting the issues are inverted clowns. They've been sent in to do this. I've covered footage. I don't know. I've posted footage of some BLM protests that I've gone to. There was one in Reading, and it was definitely controlled. There was very organized. I mean, everybody here probably knows, the Soros-funded protests, sending people in to go loot and do all of this other stuff. So obviously, I'm preaching to the choir. You already know about these things. But it's the same with this other protest as well, right? Like, these things didn't just get out of hand. It wasn't a natural human situation. It was completely fabricated from the beginning to the end. I don't even believe that they were shooting real shots. Like, it looks at best that they were firing blanks. And, you know, I don't believe that the victims pass investigation, if you know what I mean. Neither does Kyle, neither does the judge, neither does the attorney or prosecutor, or like all of these. It's just one after another, and it's just like, how many do you need to see to determine that it's a clown show that is completely fabricated and none of it's real? They've definitely, used this psyop as a divide and conquer scheme. You know, I've seen many posts about, oh, if it was a black kid or blah, 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 like, using this, white supremacist, all this stuff to add fuel to the fire because they want a race war. They want us to be easily divided and conquered. So not just race, but, mask versus non-mask, jab versus non-mask, versus non-jab. And especially, how they keep saying China virus, trying to blame China for all of these things so that we get up in arms and we'll go to war with them. So that is, I would definitely check out the post that I linked earlier, because I talk in more details about, the whole thing. I show pictures and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I don't believe anyone died in the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. I think it's a complete psyop, and that kind of leads right into the Travis Scott psyop. I talked a little bit on Wednesday about this media hoaxes and psyops, and how the victims, the 8 victims, don't pass the alternative news sources, the people saying that, hundreds of people were killed. These ones don't pass either. I am getting a lot of, recommendations from YouTube. It was just this morning? Actually, I think it might have been yesterday. It had to have been last night that they showed me like a 9th Astroworld victim. And it was this person that was like, they were just really over dramatic and really like they were still talking about their child as if their child was alive. And it's actually the thumbnail of my video. You can see the person in the video with the main one speaking, like they have their hand over like it looks like they're going to choke them out because they keep going on. It was kind of funny because she's like, oh, my daughter is so great. And then this one over here comes and she's like, and she's cool as well. But my other daughter is just so fantastic. It's just like hilarious. But, they want us to feel bad for these people who supposedly lost their children and stuff. And it's like, I am the first one to shed tears over a real mother losing her real child. Like, don't twist it in any way. Like, if there's actually a mother that has lost her child, that is absolutely serious and completely devastating. Like, I want nothing more than to be a mom, and the thought of losing a child that I don't even have, like, can make me just start crying right now. So let's not even think about that. But I do sympathize with real mothers. But this was not that. I even posted the person's picture in the disclosure group, and everybody has, just male pretending to be a female on the post regarding the supposed mother of the victim. So the victims are inverted. The victims' parents are inverted. The rapper Travis is inverted. Is just an inverted clown show, and they want us to get upset, to be, don't mock a grieving mother. Like, they use it against us, use this compassion against us, because so many people that aren't awake are going to be like, see this horrible acting and then still say, that's a mother who has lost their child. It's like, I should post the video here. Astroworld 9 victim. This isn't exactly the one that I watched, but It's still the same. Astroworld 9 victim. Terrible acting. All right, there's the link in the chat. Let me see what's going on here. Eric says hashtag Sandy Hooks or Hook. Absolutely. That is another one. Super K Pill said earlier that we're all food addicted. Yes, that is true. I'm guilty as charged. Super K Pill says the case is fascinating. I haven't looked into. I want to see some of the victims' family footage, but I see that you said later that he's just a kid and it was a traumatic incident. I personally don't believe that that it is real. I think that he's a girl and that the mom is a male, and they can look like each other just like Hollywood inverts look like each other because they take, the sperm from the MTF and the egg from the FTM and put it together. They can either put it in the FTM and she can carry, or they could put it in a surrogate and then have a baby that, looks just like them. Let's see what's going on here. Yes, there are a lot of inverts. Someone saying that all 3 dudes shot were also Jewish. Okay, probably more like fake Jews, those that say that they are Jews but lie. Do you even Sage says not surprised how many reality TV and YouTubers are inverted clowns. Everything needs to be looked closely. Absolutely. I personally don't even I'm not subscribed to anybody that I go and watch their videos. I would rather not even at this point, I don't even really like to learn from inverts. It's just like every big viral video on every different subject is an inverted clown. So it's just like, Schwartzy, is that how you say your name? Elites are prepping the stage for the emergence of AI neo-deity into the physical world. Okay, we will definitely see what happens. I know that they are bringing out the AI, and I am in general not against AI, but I'm definitely against their AI because they are anti-human psychopaths. Super K Pill says rioting in the streets is not normal human behavior. I agree, it's not normal human behavior. The riots are started by inverted clowns, and it's not just riots, but there are for one instance, the Proud Boys and Antifa on, both sides of this Hegelian dialectic. They can pay, people from this group and this group to go, you just need 1 or 2 people and you pay them to go and start fighting each other to see what humans will join along. And it's the same concept with, paying them to go and throw some bricks in the store and go start looting. Like they have people or inverts, maybe not people, whatever. They have, plants, if you will, put in place to cause all of these issues and try to see what kind of humans will fall into place. And the plants will just, be extremely confident in what they're doing because they're purposefully there, right? They're on a mission. They know they're not going to get in trouble because they've been sent there purposefully to ultimately cause the chaos that brings about the New World Order. So they're pretending it's a race issue. Well, they're trying to make a race issue. That's the problem. They're definitely trying to make it happen. And as I've said before, it's like race is like the lamest thing that you can dislike somebody for. If you're going to dislike someone, like them for an actual reason, not because of the color of their skin. That just makes you pathetic. Okay. Swarzy says Alex Jones is right when he talks about the elite taking DMT and similar drugs to communicate with interdimensional beings. He fails to say that the beings will manifest via AI. I agree that they do take all sorts of drugs, obviously, being that they're the rulers of our world. They have access to literally all of the drugs, and the best drugs at that, like the highest quality, etc., like whatever they want as sellouts in this world. But at the same time, they're also inverted clowns, and they don't really need to take drugs to have the connection with the demons that are possessing them. It's not just the demons that come from inverting, but so many of them were sodomized as children, which really, really lets the demons in. So no bueno. Sage says, my family has had a mysterious death last Wednesday. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. My brother's girlfriend lost her son. Wow, that's sad. He was 26 years old and his heart stopped. Was that from the jab? Oh my gosh. Wow. Michael says that the riots are used to engage race war. Yes, absolutely. And they, like I was saying, they can get people from both sides to promote it, and then ultimately make each side look really bad, right? They're trying to paint this picture of BLM being these, out of control protest rioters that are looting things, and then they put a person in place that'll go and make the situation happen to paint that picture so that they can continue to divide and conquer. Mr. 40 Reaper says, sorry, just arrived. Who exactly are you? No offense. I am Queen Inanna Snow, and this is my channel, so welcome. Michael says, facts. Schwartzy says, LOL. Eric says, Alex Jones is dead. Yes, I have posted a video before. Stop talking. Who is Alex Jones by Queen Inanna Snow? Let's see if they even let me see the video. Oh, gosh. Scroll, not seeing the post. Got to go to my channel to find my own video. Not surprising. All right. Who is Alex Jones? Hey, Baba Clack Fish, how's it going? Says, hey there, Queen and everyone. Hopefully you are doing well. I was just talking a little bit about, the powers that be being demon possessed. Eric brought up Alex Jones being dead. I said that it wasn't really recently. I put out a video about Alex Jones and posted, the question was, who is Alex Jones? And I thought that I would have a definite answer coming out of it. But as you can see in the video, I've posted, multiple different video clips, which look like a lot of different characters. And as I found out over time, the powers that be, like the top characters, all have different puppets, different lookalikes that can fill in for them so that, the show can go on. I'm sure that you have, seen in various, even Joe Biden, looking from many years ago to what is presented to us now, very, very, very different in appearance. But it also makes sense for them to have, multiple fill-ins so that the inverted clowns, they have a really high suicide rate. So if one of them goes off the deep end, then they have a fill-in. So anyways, it was also channeled to me regarding Alex Jones that the real Alex Jones was a real male, and he was uncontrolled and gaining in power. So they replaced him, and they killed him. They took his flesh, and the inverted lookalike actually consumed his flesh. I've talked a little bit before about this whole black magic concept of, even earlier I said you become what you eat, right? There's a lot of cultures that have, maybe even now in some other like third world countries, maybe the Satanists. Anyways, they have this concept of, if you want to, let's say someone is really smart and you want to take on their wisdom, their knowledge, you might consume their brain. Maybe if they are really courageous, you might consume their heart. Just a black magic ritual. So you can kind of, understand that a little bit. The whole concept behind, if you were trying to replace somebody or impersonate them, you might consume parts of their body you're literally consuming their soul, their very essence. So it's really obviously interesting when you think of all the people that are eating animals, that are eating pig butt, like you become what you eat. Okay. Bombclat Gaddowfish says Bill Hicks, LOL. As you can see in the video, I think I do talk about Bill Hicks. I think Bill Hicks is just one of, the many that have potentially played Alex Jones. But you'll have to watch the video to see all of the different Alex Jones characters. Michael says, I feel like playing chess does something to your mind, like makes you more intelligent by observing and making precise decisions in everyday life. That is absolutely correct. Bombclat Gaddowfish actually also said, your version of Alex Jones's history makes a lot of sense. So thank you. That was just information that was revealed to me. I didn't get it from a source. I'm more into like meditation and asking, praying and asking for the answer to questions rather than, I do research as well, but I kind of like to go my own way. And the information that I'm seeking really isn't released to us. So Schwartz says, off topic even more so than my other comments, LOL. You study hypnosis, don't you, Queen? Not a bad thing. I have read a little bit about it before. I actually met someone a while back that said that he hypnotized his wife during childbirth to help with the pain alleviation. But other than that, it's not really something that I have ever focused on. I'm not really trying to hypnotize people. I'm just answering questions and trying to make an actual personal connection so that people actually know who I am. And I think it's really important because I am, promoting a completely different world, and I'm trying to get people to hope and to focus and to manifest a world with me. And obviously getting to know me is important in that, we need to be able to know and trust each other to some extent, at least. Bombclat Gaddowfish says, at Michael, you are the second person to mention chess to me in the last day. Well, Bombclat Gaddowfish, you better get on it. Flat Earth is unstoppable. Yes, it is. Sure, very believable. I'm not really sure what you are referencing in that because the chat is a little bit behind. But yes. You'd be a natural at hypnosis. Eyes are literally mesmerizing. Thank you. Mr. 40 Reaper says, dear, please answer me. I know. I already answered you. I said, I'm Queen and on a Snow, and this is my channel. So I don't know what you asked me who I am. It's like, this is my channel, and I'm Queen and on a Snow. I don't know what more you want from me. Nice view. Well, it's definitely nicer than being outside. It's really foggy out there. It's been really foggy for the past few days, and it's really hard to see when you're driving. And yeah, I actually almost got in a wreck. Someone was swerving on my side of the road on the way here. So thankfully I got here safely. Flat Earth is unstoppable. That's unnecessary. Anyways, I'm going to pull out my phone here and see what other topics that I wanted to discuss for today. If there's anything that comes to mind for you, definitely let me know in the comment section. not sure my notes went. Okay. One of the things that a lot of people talk about is the sacrifices. This kind of goes along with the Travis Scott thing. I kind of mentioned it a little bit in my video on Wednesday. But I've talked before about how the inverts can't directly kill themselves. They got to convince humans. They got to convince us real human male and females to go and kill each other via war, getting us females to go into Planned Parenthood and actually kill our own children in our womb. And, you know, if you can be convinced, Satan would prefer, instead of, you know, going and get an abortion, that you would just, you know, dress your child as the opposite sex and encourage them to live life that way. And so they will be corrupt, and ultimately they're gonna corrupt other people. A lot of times with the sacrifices, like with the Travis Scott thing, they make it look like a sacrifice, when in reality they just have a bunch of inverted clowns like dropping to the ground and convulsing. A really Hollywood production, completely controlled, no bloodshed, no bad karma, just accomplishing the goal of getting humans up in arms, getting them scared. And also, you know, they can say, oh, well, how many people did we help wake up to the fact that we're Satanists, by putting on that show, by doing this psyop? You know what I'm saying? So they can also try to play the whole "we're helping to wake humanity" card up by putting these super satanic symbols in, you know, all programming right in our faces, which obviously it does help, but you know, the Satanists are laughing because they've convinced so many people that Satan doesn't exist and that Hollywood isn't satanic, while they literally have, you know, devil horns, and they have this clown giving a lap dance to Satan in their music video. Like, it's crazy. But anyways, as far as human sacrifices go, they usually send humans off to war. They get humans to kill each other. They get humans to consent to jabs, and basically getting us to eat ourselves to death, inject ourselves, work ourselves to death, everything, and prematurely age ourselves and just be clowns the whole time that you do it. That's their goal. And knowing that, you know, humans are supposed to live hundreds of years in vibrant youth, that we don't fully mature until around 200. It's like, wow, look at all the human clowns that are prematurely aged and dead before 100. Like that. I mean, eating death 3 times a day and snacks in between is definitely, you know, a super key in them getting us to kill ourselves off. So it makes sense. Britton mentioned the heart attacks in athletes due to jabs, including 12-year-olds. Yes, there are a lot of articles going around, a lot of people talking about the athletes and young children having heart attacks, having blood clot issues from the jab. And obviously, it's just going to keep getting worse as we go forward. Every jab that you take is like playing Russian roulette. Like there's 2 different things, right? There's short-term consequences, immediate consequences, and then there's long-term consequences. And you don't know which, or either or both you're going to have until it already happens, right? It's like playing Russian roulette. You inject something and you just sit around and wait to see what happens. It's so sad to see people offering up their children, you know, to be test subjects. And I've mentioned before, it's like they're using a mother's natural desire, natural inclination to protect their children against mothers by saying how you protect your child best is to inject them with this. You know, they're at a high risk if they're not injected, which we all know that they're not. And, you know, you're a bad mommy if you don't get injected, if you don't get your baby injected and put on a mask. Like, it's really sad because, you know, then at the same time they say, you know, you're not smart enough, mommy, to read those jab inserts. You're not smart enough to know better if a mask is good or not for your child. Like, you didn't go to so many years of medical school, blah, blah, blah. You're just a lowly little housewife and you don't know any better. Like, you know, they try to make us think that we're too stupid when in reality, it's like the doctor went to this school and actually got dumbed down and trained by big pharma. And most of them don't read the vaccine inserts. Like, they don't know themselves because they don't research outside of what they have to research to. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. There are some doctors, but it's like you research what you have to pass the course, to get your degree, to start practicing medicine, right? I don't know about you, but I don't want somebody that practices to be practicing on me. Like, are there any professionals in the building? Please stand up. Myself, I'm more of a natural person, so I want to avoid hospitals and doctors like the plague. They're all trained in, well, I guess I don't know about all. Some of them are self-taught, but they're not the ones with the giant practices, right? Trained by a big pharma to prescribe pills, to put Band-Aids on issues, to, you know, radiate you, to cut you open, rather than to actually know how to work with the mechanisms already at work in your body that are trying to heal you, right? Your body is a self-healing machine and it's already trying to heal you. But when you are constantly putting in junk, it has to combat the junk that you're putting in, rather than trying to heal you of what you already have going on because of the junk you've been putting in for your whole life. So, yes. Britton says, awesome video, and the flat earth is the juggernaut. Flat earth is definitely really important. Yes. Eric says, and by the time anyone even knows what has happened, there will be hell on earth. Yeah. And especially since there's no liability for the jab companies, people are really going to be freaking out. Mr. 40 Reaper says, who is Travis Scott? Travis Scott is a rapper who is dating Kylie Genderbender, which is Bruce / Caitlyn Jenner's child. And Bruce is a biological female. Faith says, hey, Queen, what are your thoughts on working out during pregnancy? How's it going, Faith? Thanks for joining. I have read about people, you know, that already work out, that continue their workout during pregnancy. And I definitely think that is impressive. I think that it is safe to do that. Obviously, everyone is in a different situation. Every pregnancy is going to be different, especially depending on the mother's health and what she is, you know, not only putting in her body, you know, injecting any prenatal vitamins, all of that stuff. I personally don't trust any of it. I don't want to take prenatal vitamins. I'm not going to see a doctor, not going to do ultrasounds, primarily sticking to raw fruit and vegetables so that my baby is getting the most pure things. But anyways, like I was saying, I think that, you know, especially if you're already used to working out, people should like continue to stay fit and active during their pregnancy if they can. And obviously home births as natural as possible. Stay away from jabs, the eye goop that they put on. You know, delayed cord clamping is something you want to look into. No circumcision, and as soon as the baby comes out, you put them, like, you know, lay them on your chest so that they can immediately have this like connection with you and look into their eyes. Like, can you tell that I'm really excited about doing this? Okay. Sage said, in regards to Mr. 40 Reaper, who is Travis Scott, a rap artist who has encouraged the crowd to rush his stage. Yes. I also think, you know, them rushing the gate before the event and all of that was completely staged. Like, normal humans aren't going to do that. You know, just the threat of being arrested and all of that stuff. Like, you got to think of what a normal human would do and realize that all of these things that we're seeing in the media are are inverts that have been put up to it. You know, sometimes they will use like a real male, I guess it's usually just a real male. Maybe if there's violence involved, or potential violence involved, and maybe the invert doesn't want to get involved, but it's definitely easier to keep control if it's all inverts. But as far as a real male being used, like even, you know, around here, there are some CIA assets, real males that are used, and often it's because they have, you know, dirt on them. You know, maybe the person got in trouble for something with the law, and then they said, you know, we'll give you a shorter sentence or no sentence if you do this or that, you know. So a lot of times they don't even, you know, you don't have to pay an asset. They can be an asset without being paid, based on just, you know, that alone. You got in trouble. Okay, you scratch our backs, we'll let you out of prison, because ultimately, you know, it's the criminals giving justice system, and it's not about justice. It's about them, their end goal, the new world order, corruption. Like Britain said that the performer at the concert, 8 people allegedly died, and in my opinion, they tested out frequencies to affect graphene oxide in jabs. The concert continued for 45 minutes after first people were dying. Yes, I don't believe anyone died, but I do think that they were testing out frequencies, not necessarily testing out, but using for sure. It's not like as far as testing out, like someone might take that as its actual test, but like they know what these things are going to do. They know the outcome, and they're used purposefully. There's multiple videos of like real weird, I don't want to call it music, but frequencies, like noise being played before the concert, and people, you know, passing out issues. But like I said in my video before, I would really like to see video footage of people from the concert that are not inverted, that I could actually trust, you know, what they're saying. Michael said, in regards to who is Travis Scott, a rock star rapper, still slash rapper, mainstream Matrix character. Yes. Bumclack Addofish says, modern medical science is a very cold and disrespectful perspective on health. Yes. Doctors make money off of people being in their waiting room, in their practice. So really, even if they wanted to, I mean, I think actually a lot of them do want to heal people, but it's like they're not taught how to heal people. They're only taught what Big Pharma teaches them. And, you know, a lot of times if you try to go out of the lines, if you don't want to jab, if you don't want to do this or that in your practice, you're going to get in trouble with the higher ups, you know, the whole system. Earth is Unstoppable said, are you in a doctor's office? No, I am at the Lake Shastina Golf Resort in this little conference room. The other room has a lot of people in it. It's just too noisy, so I like to sit in here instead. Michael's laughing at the gender bender comment. Yes, it's funny. Thomas Hall says, Hollyweird, yeah, I like to call him Hollyweird myself, is all Satan worshipers. Yes. Yep. You don't get to the top in Satan's world without being an inverted clown. So Mr. 40 Reaper said, what happened to Travis? Nothing technically happened to Travis. Just look in my video and look up Travis Scott. They pulled a psyop. They, you know, pretended people died at this concert and made a big fuss out of it. I don't believe anybody died. So yeah. Flat Earth is Unstoppable. Do you work there or are you on a date? Technically, neither. No, I don't work here. And no, I'm not technically on a date unless you consider me on this live video a date. I am here to do this live video. They have good Wi-Fi here, so yeah. Anyways, I am gonna be going home and playing some chess on the Chess Online app. Today is Sunday, so I will be joining you again on Wednesday for another live at 3:33. So hopefully you will be able to join me then. Make sure that you like and subscribe and stay tuned, because we all know that YouTube is shadow banning people and doesn't alert others when people go live, which is very irritating, but understandable. They don't want us to connect. They don't want us to have a relationship, because they don't want us to change the world. Ultimately, they're afraid of us combining, uniting it together as one, especially uniting together as one to focus on a golden age, to actually change the world, to take the power structure from them that they have worked so hard to build, to keep control of over thousands of years, right? These families that are running our world have been doing so for hundreds, thousands of years, and it's generational inversion. So it's like, when you have a child, whatever sex it's born, you dress it as the opposite sex from the hospital, and then you go. Like, that's just the life that they are leading. And that's how you get rich and famous in Satan's world. And it's not just you. If you decide that you want to be an invert and you want to go and, sell out to Satan, you have to invert your children as well, or else you're going to lose what you inverted for. So yes. Sage, what app are you talking about? Let's see here. Britain's, I'm glad you are here. Thank you. I'm glad that you guys are here as well. Oh, the chess app. Okay. Sounds good. Daniel says, what's the link for the chess app? It is, can I even share the link here? JL says, I really don't understand. In one of your videos, you said Satan take a contract with God to corrupt us. Yes, Satan has a contract with God to corrupt us. That is a true statement. Let me just look here. Ultimately, it outlines what he can and can't do. It keeps him in check, if you will, stating that he can't directly kill, and basically outlining what his job is, and the fact that he is so good at keeping his contract is one of the reasons that he keeps the job that he has been doing for a very long time. He wasn't always Satan. Before humans existed, he obviously wasn't the adversary of humans, because humans didn't exist, right? Oh, thank you, Sage. I was about to put that on there too. He beat me to it. And there have been other Satans before, other adversaries. Satan is just a nickname that means the adversary. And having different species, there could be different species, that maybe the adversary of, there's a lot of deer outside. Just like the whole idea of, a jinn that, like Satan, that didn't want to bow to humans, the Satan before maybe didn't want to, didn't like reptilians or whatever, species came after them. Like I haven't actually asked about the situation regarding the Satans before, but it is an interesting little tidbit of information to know. Satan is happy to take the contract with God. I have mentioned before, it kind of keeps him in the spotlight rather than being put on the shelf like so many others who have, become insignificant. Even the whole species, the jinn species, they are hidden, right? They're not getting any attention center stage like humans are. And Satan taking this contract keeps him relevant. He gets to be, using the MTFs, especially, that's like his primary focus because he's a male who wants to be a female. So you can understand why he loves so much to go and get on stage and prance around and have boys lust after him. He's a broken sodomite himself. So that makes sense. So yeah, this contract, all of these, things, him disliking humans, thinking that he's better than humans as a species, wanting to make humans into clowns, it being relevant, being relevant. That alone probably keeps him wanting to keep the contract, right? Nobody wants to become irrelevant. And yeah. Okay. Michael says, in Hinduism, there is the creator, preserver, and the destroyer. Daniel says, nice. In regards to the chess app, Mr. 40 Reaper said, I would love to talk to you. You believe. I cannot believe you are one that understands the word of the Father. Yes. Well, as long as you aren't talking about the Bible, I don't follow the Bible, but I do seek the truth of Yah's creation and want to ultimately influence humans, use this platform that I have to, try to get people to purify and ultimately stop being clowns. Like our species, when those who watch, right? Anyone who's watching us, like we're in the True Man and True Woman show, they're looking at our species, and in general, we look like clowns. Like it's embarrassing to even be a human, and it's one of the things I'm really passionate about is like trying to, tell people about these psyops, tell people about the inverts. Like I'm constantly posting about inverts because it's so important that people know how prevalent this issue is, how inverts are literally everywhere. They're running our worlds, and when they're involved in these media stories of any type, it's not just the terrorist shooting 9/11, it's just everyday true crime stories as well. It's like they're all inverts and you can't believe anything they say. And it's important to me to continue to promote the truth and bear the light in the darkness so that humans can stop being clowns. Please stop being clowns. You're making us look bad. I understand why the Satanists want us to look like clowns. If they can get us to look like clowns, then we're in their company. But if we're not clowns and only they're the clowns and we're laughing at them, then it becomes a situation that they don't like. They don't want to be laughed at. Well, too bad. Look who's laughing now. Everybody in the Transvestigation Disclosure Now group. Michael says, if you are forgotten completely, do you cease to exist? Referring to past lives / gods. Well, that's an interesting. It would be hard to be completely forgotten if you still exist, but obviously, once you cease to exist, it's going to be a lot easier to be forgotten. So I don't believe, I think that our existence isn't based on other people knowing or remembering us. Our existence is based on ultimately us. Your soul, if you decide you don't want to be existing anymore, then that's a determining factor. By will alone, you stay alive, and that's not only your soul, but also in the physical. Like your body can endure like extreme amounts of suffering and pain if you will it. If you say, no, I refuse to leave this reality, no matter what's happening, like you can continue to live through that. Obviously if you get your head chopped off or something like absolutely crazy, then it's going to be problematic to stay in the world. But yeah, I don't believe that our physical or soul existence depends on anybody knowing us or being forgotten or not. So yeah, it is definitely sad when souls go out of existence, and not something that people want to focus on. It's much happier to think that souls are, eternal and just going to happy rainbows and sunshine and just continue on forever and ever and ever. But that's just not the reality. And I don't even want to talk about it, but that's the same thing with this world, unfortunately. Sophia's soul empowers all of this physical world that we are experiencing. And if she decides that she doesn't want to do this anymore, Daniel said, do you use your name on the app or how we hook up? I don't tell anybody my name on the app. I just say that you have to find me by chance like everybody else. Mr. 40 Reaper says, I'm sorry you didn't want to listen to MD. I'm not sure what you are talking about. MD? Medical doctor? That's the only MD that I know. And I'm not sorry at all that I don't want to listen to them. So. Okay. Eric says, but we all have the truth. That is the deciding factor. Truth is love. That is, I do agree that we all have a connection to the truth, that we, the whole ask and ye shall receive concept, especially being that we have been through this before. It's not our first time through this whole game that we call life. But it's interesting. Truth is love. I had to think about that because I'm wondering, is all truth love? Like, I'm trying to think of any truth that's not, I don't know. I have to think about that for a little bit. Flat Earth is unstoppable says that truth is subjective. I don't agree that truth is subjective. There is a truth, and there is not truth. And the color of the sky is, well, I guess it's kind of a bad example, because sometimes the color of the sky literally does change during a pretty sunset. It's going to have a bunch of different colors. So can't really say the color of the sky is always going to be blue, because I guess it's not exactly a true statement, is it? But the truth of the matter, for one thing, is that the earth is an enclosed realm, right? That we are on a stationary plane. So that truth is not going to change. Like, people want to talk about manifesting our reality. And yes, to an extent, we definitely do. But, no matter how many people come together and fully believe that the earth is a giant spinning ball, that we're living on the outside, whirling around infinite space, it's like, no matter how many people that you get to join in a group and believe it with all their might, it's like, it's not going to change Sophia. She is what she is. And ultimately, to change this world, we have to convince her. We are trying to change physical matter into a golden age, and obviously, getting Sophia to help manifest that with us is something that I'm also focused on. And someone earlier was saying, how do we go against them, basically? How do we stand against the New World Order? And it's just the same message I've said before, is that we stop participating in behaviors that literally fuel the New World Order. Like, if you are paying every day for animals to be enslaved so that you can eat their eggs, their honey, their milk, their corpses, like, you are literally funding the New World, like, you're perpetuating the New World Order, because we as a species deserve to be enslaved if we are enslaving all of the other species. Like, what the powers that be are doing, they're being the karma for our evil, and that's how they justify it to the spiritual world. So if we want to stop the New World Order in its tracks, like, literally, if half of humans would go vegan right now, it would stop, because the justification for the New World Order is them pointing to the evil that we are all participating in. So that is it. Go vegan and stop enslaving other species if you want it to be free yourself. Very, very easy concepts, but unfortunately, people don't want to do that. They would rather do anything else. and even rather have the New World Order where they're completely enslaved and like just, they can continue doing evil, not just the things that they eat, but they want to continue, being deceived about the porn stars that they're lusting after, and they want to just keep watching sports that are completely rigged and enjoy their ignorance. What do they say? Ignorance is bliss. Well, I guess maybe you temporarily did have bliss with the chemical reactions that you're giving yourself, really, really quick, highs of happiness. But is your soul actually happy? Do you really think that your soul is happy that you came into this world, you ate death, you were eating pig butt, like, ew, and you were sitting there masturbating over other dudes? Like, do you think that really ignorance is bliss? Like, Flat Earth is Unstoppable said, do you believe in ritual sacrifice? I don't believe in sacrificing any innocent blood, if that's what you mean. But as far as ritual sacrifice, technically I do that every week. When I do a dry fast, I'm doing a purification ritual, and I'm sacrificing eating for that day. So I definitely see that as my form of sacrifice. And I think that is the form of sacrifice that our Creator ultimately wants for us, from us to what was I saying? To sacrifice doing the evils of this world, the things that we're addicted to that make us clowns and, pull us down. So that's the proper form of sacrifice. Eric says, truth, woohoo, truth is the path. Yes, I agree. I don't know how to say your name. SJORE or OERD. Joeward, I don't know. Okay. Hi, do you have a video where you explain more about this soul topic and your opinion about it, or maybe make one? Keep going strong. I do have a video about the origins of the soul, but it's kind of a broad topic to discuss. So I can definitely talk about that more in details in the future. It's kind of a broad topic, even your question. So if you have any more specific questions that I could answer, that would be awesome. Yeah. Fizza says, I've been on this path since I woke up early in the pandemic. The transvestigation group really blew my mind, and now can't watch any celeb on the world stage. Trying to share the truth with friends, but I've come to the conclusion that some that walk amongst us are not meant to wake up. Yes, I personally believe in reincarnation, that we have been through this many times, and some souls, no matter how many times we go through this, like, they don't ever wake up. And, why that is, I don't know. Yeah. It's really sad, though. I think it's pretty exciting to go through the whole awakening experience, even though, you learn all these different ways that you've been made into a clown. You're like, oh, that was a clown move. Oops, clown move. Like, everything, pretty much every step that we've been led to take up till the time of our awakening, even sometimes after that, is to make us clowns. Hey, Lunar Node, how's it going? I think it's sword. I'm not sure what you are referring to there. Eric says, good job, Fizza. Welcome to the rebellion. Yes. Hey, Shauna, how's it going? Krishna is a reincarnation of Jesus Christ. I do think that the same souls have reincarnated, in different places. And even the stories that we have of, the Christ and his life, a lot of it has been cut out from the early childhood. And even in the Gospel of the Holy 12, it talks about how he goes down to Egypt and learns like the healing properties of rocks and herbs, and the way that the sun and the moon move and all of these different things. And also his ministry, his relationship with Mary Magdalene. And also after that, there's you know, a lot of text scrolls that talk about him not being crucified and actually going on and traveling around the world to different spots and teaching. So it's pretty interesting to see, you know, the stuff that was left out of the Bible, out of the official narrative, this whole story about somebody coming and dying for your sins. You're not going to ever be good enough, no matter how hard you try. So don't even try. Just believe in this guy, believe that he died for your sins, and you're good to go to heaven. Like, even if you're on your deathbed, if you were a mass murderer, which I don't believe that humans are. I think that all of the serial killers that we have been, you know, put in mainstream media, the cult leaders, the Kool-Aid clown, whatever, what's that? The person that had people drink Kool-Aid, you know, I think that they're all psyops. I don't believe that they're real. But anyways, my point was, you know, you could be an axe murderer, and then on your deathbed, just pray and ask Jesus to forgive your sins and be covered in innocent blood, and then you're good to go. Yeah. Obviously, the Christ not dying and, you know, living a fuller life, having children, going throughout the world and ministering doesn't really fit in with the whole, you know, mainstream religious narrative. And obviously, the New Testament is a bunch of Paul's gospel. Paul says multiple times, my gospel, like it's not the same gospel as the Christ. Okay. Shauna says, watch God of Ra. I think that's what is on YouTube. Amazing reincarnation of Isis is Madonna. Okay, interesting. God of Ra. Okay. Is that presumably a documentary? Mr. 40 Reaper says, you actually believe that our Earth is flat? Yes, I actually know that our Earth is flat. Large bodies of water are always level, you know, they don't curve. Giant bodies of oceans aren't curving around a sphere. There's literally no evidence to support globe Earth, and every ancient culture, religion, civilization knew and depicted flat Earth truth. Not only, you know, in their drawings or whatever, but in their writings too. You can actually read about their cosmology, and ultimately, you know, become a scientist for yourself. I don't know about you, but I want to believe things or know them. I hate how they're like, oh, believe, lie, whatever. I want to hold things and speak them because I believe them, not because somebody told me to. So it's like, I'm going to go out and look for myself. And until I personally see any curvature, like, I'm going to believe that it's flat. Even from high altitude weather balloons, like it's extremely flat. If you obviously look past the fish islands that they love to use to make, even standing on the ground, it makes you look like you're on a globe from ground level, let alone from up in the sky. Oh, Lunar says the name is pronounced sword. Okay, interesting. Shauna says, yes, he changed into many. Barty's mom was so amazing. Speaking of Krishna, is this Barty the one that is supposedly dead from the Travis Scott incident? I was talking about that earlier as a really overplayed, like really bad acting. And then the person on their side comes and like tries to strangle him almost. It's like hilarious. Michael says castration chemicals are in prison Kool-Aid. Wouldn't surprise me. Shauna Marie says the story of Krishna is so much of the Bible story of Christ. That's cool. I know that there's a lot of overlapping stories within the different religions. And Eric says, Inanna, you're going to change so many lives. Thanks. I'm one. I really appreciate hearing that. And that's definitely makes all of this worth it to change even just one life. Like, Okay, Mr. 40 Reaper says, so do I, hopefully in regards to flat Earth. Shauna Marie says it don't matter. She talked about Krishna. I personally do believe that it matters if it's an inverted actor or not. And it looks like a dude to me, so yeah. Ooh. Okay. Phys says that there have been so many psyops throughout the awakening process. We have to be so discerning and trust our guts. I have been so deceived on the journey looking for hope-timist, yes. But eventually found God, yes. And the psyops are definitely getting more clever and crafty. They're putting out, the mainstream narrative and then the alternative narrative, and having obviously both sides controlled and trying to make the truther community look like the biggest clowns of everybody. So definitely, thank you, Sage. Definitely make sure that if it's being popular or promoted even in the truther community, it's like be really questioning of it. So yeah. Flat Earth is unstoppable says you're misusing commas, Mr. Reaper. I don't like it. Yes. Henry says, hi, bye, too much delay. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it's not on my end. Shauna Marie says everything is not a psyop though. Pretty much everything that you see on TV is, in fact, a psyop. Absolutely. Hope-timism. Yeah, Fizza, that's what I thought you meant. Kind of a cute word, hope-timism. They definitely try to use that against us, obviously, with the Trump cult, the Trump psyop, getting people to have hope that somebody in government is for them, somebody is doing something good, etc. And what's going to happen to all those people when we don't really even know what's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring Trump back, maybe implement the new world order under Trump, maybe fake assassinate Trump. Like anything obviously is possible, but getting all of these humans that would otherwise align with me and getting to the golden age to instead put all of their hope in Trump, who is one of them, a female clown deceiver who abuses children, like putting all of your hope in this fake person and then ultimately being let down. It's like, obviously once a human, it puts their hope in somebody and then is let down and it happens and then it let down. Like you keep doing it after a while, they're like, I'm not going to put my faith in anybody. It's hopeless. There is no... How many Trump cultists are like, if you don't believe in Trump, then you're hopeless and your life is so dark. It's like, whoa, slam the brakes there, kiddo. Like I never put my trust and hope in Trump to begin with. So me not believing in them doesn't make me hopeless. My hope is in real humans. My hope is in myself, in actually manifesting a better world, in my leadership capabilities, in my ability to connect and, to do what I'm doing here. So, yes, bless you twice. Thank you, Mr. Reaper. It must be a really long delay. That's bad. Okay, Fizza says, yep, took me a long time to get over Trump. Well, I'm glad that you are over Trump. Lunar Node says, the only person you should have hope in is yourself. Go me. Well, if there are other real humans, then you can have hope in them too. But yeah, I definitely don't put hope in many other people, especially if they are not a real human. Shauna said, and you learned that under psyop mind control. What did I learn under psyop mind control? That everything's a psyop? No, I mean, I learned these things by being observant and, actually going out and studying biomarkers and learning that inverts run our world. And if I spot an invert, if it's an invert that can't even produce one real fake tear and has their handler basically choking them in their fake breakdown on TV where they're saying their child isn't dead, I'm referring to this 9th victim. Yeah. I don't believe it at all. It doesn't make sense to you. What doesn't make sense about it? I believe that it does make sense. Completely. They use the media to manipulate us, to control us, to deceive us. And by having these, I mean, there's multiple agendas going on, but like I said, I don't believe anybody even died. I don't believe that I don't believe the official narrative, and I don't believe the alternative narrative. I believe what I've stated before, that nobody actually died. And I don't believe these actors, the victim's family speaking out like it's a man. Like, I don't know how much more I can tell you about that. I'll post the picture that I posted into my transvestigation disclosure group. The experts have all, well, not necessarily all, but many have chimed in to say that it is definitely a man. And you can watch the video that I posted earlier of the 9th victim's family speaking out. She's talking about God and how, how great her child is and all of this stuff. Like, and no tear. They're talking about their child as if they're not dead. So they're saying is, not was, right? And they are not even one tear. Like, it's just really bad acting. Tom says life is upside down and back to front. Weird times, have to enjoy it. Yeah. Definitely upside down. It's nice to put things back in their position, to revert them, to, flip it back. Britton says media is sorcery, casting spells. Like, you can't even imagine, even after you know the spells. Absolutely. And I've mentioned before all of the different, like when they're trying to cast their spell, when a witch is going to go cast their spell, they will pick different tools, different elements, different candle colors, different times, different days, different elements to essentially empower their spell. If you wanted to do like a money magic spell, you might do it on a Thursday under the full moon, I guess it might be under the new moon to help things grow. But like a Thursday night, and you might, use gold, you might use a yellow candle. Anyways, the point is that they do the same thing in their own rituals, using, different colors for the people involved, using different, numerology, using the number 33, 3 being the magical number. So using all of these different elements to help empower their black magic spell. Eric says the television is a scry box. Yes, it definitely is. Mr. 40 Reaper said, I'm being bullied. It won't be the first time. Mr. 40 Reaper, do you believe that the earth is a giant spinning ball? I mean, if you do, then sorry, but everybody deserves to be bullied if they do. Sean Murray says the programming is done by British white power media. Okay. That is the Psyop mind control. If you lived in Africa where we're given news by people that are not even your color or culture, would you believe anything they are telling you, like USA English? I don't care what color anybody is. I don't believe anything on the news, period. Race has nothing to do with it. For me, where the people are coming from, whether they're British or American or whatever, it's like, it doesn't matter to me. Ultimately, the inverts are the ones that are doing it, and that's what I focus on. Flat Earth Unstoppable is asking Mr. Reaper why they're using commas improperly. Britton says, even in the moment on TV with hand gestures and facial expressions, and they love to play victim while being a venomous cobra. Yes, if they can get you to feel bad for them or anything, like while they are deceiving you, that makes them laugh the hardest. It's so irritating that humans don't realize this and fall for it. And then they want to, the sleepers want to say we're bad for pointing out that the George Floyd psyop happened, right? They're like, why are you being mean? Like, not all of them, obviously. There's people on both sides, but they try to, because of the emotional nature of the situation, a fake killing or whatever, it's like they get all sad about, don't be talking about this. Tom says, Anana, do you think the jabbed are not of pure blood anymore? Well, there are, those posts going around showing different blood types, a jabbed person versus a non-jabbed person blood type, and showing that the jabbed person had a lot darker blood. And it's definitely messing with the body. And from my research, it being, that spike protein that they talk about is from HIV, and it, turning the body into this spike protein manufacturing system, and the spike protein being from HIV, it's like we're going to see a lot of issues, and we already are, right? We're seeing athletes and children having blood clots and heart attacks and issues that they should never have. Like, very sad. Shauna says the psyop mind control is to not have anyone go into Native American culture, which is American. Okay, I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Lunar Node says, have you heard that pedos want to be referred to as minor attracted persons? Okay, just makes me hate maps more. People think Google Earth is a map, but it's just a cartoon cover on top of this realm. Yes. Two things as far as maps goes. I don't subscribe to any map or model. I just know that we live on a stationary plane in an enclosed realm. Until we can travel freely, I'm not going to believe known liars when they show me, oh, here's where you live. It's like, screw off. You lie about everything. So I'm not going to believe anything that you say. Like, yeah. But yeah, the whole minor attractive persons and normalizing a pedophilia, definitely an agenda going on. But if you look into it, Henry or Harry Hay, the founder of the modern, gay rights movement, was adamant that NAMBLA would be a part of the movement. And NAMBLA is North American Man Boy Love Association. North American Man Boy Love Association. I don't know where these clowns are meeting, but we should not be sitting here. We should be going after them. Definitely easier said than done, especially since they are protected by the powers that be, right? The powers that be are pedophiles, they're child abusers in various ways, and it's like the judicial system, as most of you already know. It's like if they have someone that sold an ounce of, I don't know, a pound of weed, whatever, and somebody that raped a child, it's like, okay, you over here go to jail for 20. I'm exaggerating, but the point is they send this person to prison for years and years and send this person with a slap on the wrist back out to offend other humans. And it makes sense when you understand those that are running our world are evil, and they're child abusers, right? They often will use the excuse that it happened to them when they were children, and so not only can they do it to others, but it happened to them and they're just fine. It's like, you are not just fine. You think that having sex with children is okay. Like you have wires crossed that either need to be uncrossed, or if you don't want to get help, then I need to help your soul into the next realm and stop you from hurting other children and further corrupting your own soul. Shauna Marie, I'm not sure what the question was. I don't understand what you mean about the Native American thing. Britton says it was stitched together in Photoshop, but it has to be. Yes, the good old pictures of globe Earth. Then also Google Map creator admitted they had to wrap the photos onto our world around a ball. Yes. All sorts of different admissions of what is going on. And then the humans, still believe that it's a globe and they're laughing. And then I see posts in the truther community that'll be like, dear satanic globalists. It's like, first of all, you're saying globalists, like that's not like they're gonna laugh at you. They're like globalists, bah, ha, ha, these clowns still think they live on a globe. Like, you, dear satanic globalists, we don't accept your new world order. It's like, okay, I'm sorry, you think you're on a giant spinning ball. And Mr. Reaper, I'm not sure why you're having an emotional breakdown, but just stop, okay? Like, I don't know what I was even saying. That kind of threw me off. I don't really like people acting like this. Okay. They're always trying to laugh at us. And if they can put truth in plain sight and laugh at us for being clowns and still believing the lie, then that's the funniest joke of all. It's like they're constantly making us into jokes. So another thing, like when you are looking at all of these psyops, it's like, okay, what is the situation that would make humans into the biggest clowns? Okay, well, that would be that the shooting's fake. The victims and the suspect are still alive and well. They're free doing whatever. And the whole thing was a fabrication. Nobody died, and humans are upset about it. That's what makes humans into the most clown-like. So it's like over and over again, and that's what they do. Flat Earth is Unstoppable says the map pilots use is the one I personally think is the most accurate. It starts with an A. Yes. Tom says, what about these doctors? Like, yeah, Dunn and Dr. Kaufman. Yeah. I know who Kaufman is. I don't know who Del Bigtree is. But yeah, they definitely try to control both sides of the argument. And Kaufman has put out a lot of misinformation about viruses. And that really, really bothers me a lot because, like, I personally know people that have literally worked with viruses extensively and made their own viruses, people that I trust. And so for the whole, like, so many in the truther community to try to be like coming against me and coming at me sideways, it's like you're just repeating something from a doctor that you don't even know. Like they're lying to you and I'm not. So screw off. Tom says, agree, goddess. They need to repent or die. Yeah. Well, if they're going to keep hurting other people, then we have like a responsibility to make them stop. And I guess, in the golden age, it's not that death is like, has to be it. I think that, prisons can be used in a better way and actually having people get help in prisons rather than, allowing demons to run free, and also having a hierarchy in the prison system as well. The top dog in the prison system potentially being an invert, being protected by, some of the cops. You see this story in a lot of, media. And I think that is the case, that they do have like the hierarchy that is controlled so that everybody stays in line. And what kind of just popped into my mind is like even in sororities and fraternities and other positions of power in different various clubs, if the inverts can weasel their way in there, and especially, you think of like a fraternity and people being hazed, being, abused and turned into clowns, like the people that are coming up with these ideas, highly suspect to be inverted. Like I would, if I had a gun to my head, I would definitely say that, they're inverted. At least try to get into every position of power. And obviously, the positions of not power, they do get in those as well, like everyday normal positions. Lunar Node says, I think the term globalist is just a watered down social accepted version of globehead or globetard. Fizza says, thoughts on flat Earth and Atlantis. Was it part of our landmass or beyond the ice wall? I have put out some maps before of the ancient world, if you will, showing Atlantis between, I don't really subscribe to a map, but there's general, based off of the maps that we have now. I'm going to try to find the post really quick if I can. anyways, I posted this. There's like 3 different pictures. One shows Atlantis, one shows Mu, one shows Lemuria. So these different land masses that used to exist. They say that Mu sank 12,000 years ago and was at its peak 50,000 years ago. So anyways, here is the Atlantis, Mu, and Lemuria maps so that you can see that. Hopefully that comes through. Interestingly, I think it's The Lost Continent of Mu by James Church, where he talks about these Nicol tablets, and how the land that we're living on is actually on top of this honeycomb of explosive gases. So it's kind of like floating, right? The water's there. And then even in the Bible, it talks about how the land comes up. It's like the idea of these land masses floating on water with these explosive gases. And if our creator, for whatever reason, wants to sink a continent for whatever reason, then it's just a matter of basically igniting one of these little honeycomb sections, and it can cause a ripple effect and just explode and sink a whole island like real fast. So it's pretty interesting concept. Greg says, not only are you right, but you look gorgeous talking about it. Thank you. Lunar Note says Atlantis might have been the entire Earth plane back when everyone knew it was a plane. Yes, these ancient cultures, ancient civilizations were definitely more advanced than us. I personally, lean towards Mu, the lost continent of Mu, the motherland of man, being like more of the original place where humans first were kind of created. Being like the starting ground, more close to the root chakra, which makes a lot more sense to me, starting at the root. And yeah, James Churchward's book is definitely available online for free as a PDF. And they also have the Sacred Symbols of Mu by James Churchward. And I definitely suggest checking out both of those. All right. Flat Earth is Unstoppable said Plato wrote about Atlantis as a fictional story. Interesting. I do think that they try to pass off a lot of things as fiction that aren't fiction. And I've had even other truthers try to come against me with the Mu stuff, be like, scientists say that there is little scientific evidence for Mu. It's like, do you mean the same scientists that say we live on a giant spinning ball and promote evolution? Because them saying that there's little to no evidence, it's like, I don't care. Like, I know that they're liars, so their opinion about the matter really doesn't mean anything to me. I know that there are a lot of cover-ups to hide our history, to hide every facet, every truth of our reality. So them saying that there's little scientific evidence for it just doesn't mean anything to me. So Lunar Note said, I never heard of Mu before. Thanks for introducing the concept. Yes, if you check out that map on the link that I just put, you'll see the general location of Mu and Atlantis and Lemuria and how they're different. Some people often confuse Lemuria and Mu together. So, I personally have looked in from my studies, they are different, and Lemuria is more over by Africa, Madagascar area. And Mu is in between Asia and America. So that is that. Mu, obviously being an advanced civilization, having advanced tech, and humans knowing where they live, knowing that they were not evolved, knowing that we were intelligently designed. So yeah, it's pretty big contrast to, the whole caveman concept that we are. Well, I guess I personally was never taught about cavemen. I went to Christian schools my whole life, so I was always taught creation and like Adam and Eve. But, the general consensus in the science community is, evolution and cavemen and all of that kind of nonsense. So Tom says, Inanna, can I send you a book called The Ringing Cedars of Russia? Sounds interesting. My email is inannasnow@hotmail.com. So yeah, I'm actually going to get ready to sign off of here. I've had a wonderful chat with you guys, and I will be back on Wednesday at 3:33. So hopefully you can connect with me. If you have any more questions or anything like that, some other subjects that you want me to discuss, please let me know, and I will get to it in a future video. Until Wednesday, I hope that you have a wonderful week. May God and the goddess bless you.